Recording now. We are live with the Lurrus Jun pile that was submitted in. So let's get that deck imported. So big thing here, Lurrus pile. We are not playing any permanents above 2 CMC. That way we can tap into Lurrus. A lot of great value cards that we're going to be utilizing. Otherwise, a lot of great, just Jun items with a lot of hand hate and disruption, solid removal spells. We can bring back things. The Bauble and Lurrus is just fantastic, and obviously that goes well with Goyf. Confidant's still there, but we're down to 2. Oozes are great. Some spot removal here and there. We got enchantment with Seal Fire to make Goyf even bigger. I love the fact that we're playing Croxa. I'm a big fan of the Giants. Euro is absolutely amazing. And then we got Kolaghan's Command and Pulse as well. And then over in the Cyborg, Brutalities, Pillages, Boils, Weather the Storms, Grafdigger's Cage, Spellbomb, and Explosive. So this was the deck that was sent to me. I believe it's 7-0 to challenge, and it was requested, so we're just going to go ahead and jam this. Nice. Yeah, I played around with a couple different editors for a little bit, but I didn't get too deep into it because I was kind of just pressed for time. But I know that it's been one of the biggest recommendations to me is that I need to learn how to do some basic video editing, clean up the audio a ton, and that'll help with the video content. And then also just doing video editing to trim things down. Like, when we're in this giant stream, there's a ton of dead time. So trimming that down would be really nice. And then go from there. Ooh. Got a new setup. I'm pretty excited about it. We've got a shock mount for the Yeti mic now, so then hopefully we're reducing the noise impact. We've got it properly mounted, and then we've got the cover. We've got the lights on, so all pretty sweet. Still testing around some stuff. I imagine my display is going to be changing here over the course of the next couple weeks. Our team's getting more and more serious and doing more and more things. Alright, well, our opponent won't do anything, but we're not doing anything, so I don't think we can keep this. Alright, similar hand, but this time at least we're ripping our opponent's hand apart. I guess I'll keep this. See what they're working with. Oh, is this a mirror? Sure looks like a mirror. Alright, they got 2 Baubles, Overgrown, Swamp, Ooze. We can push the Ooze or the Confidant. They can't drop... They're going to drop a double Bauble. Let's just take out the threats. We'll save the push for the other threat, and then we'll rip apart their hand a little bit more. See what they got for us. Yeah, he crushed it with that mono white deck. Really impressed with him on that. So we're going to take the Kolaghan's Command, and we'll pass. Alright, so they played the Bloodstain, so we know that their hand's just Black Cleave, Ooze, Swamp. I don't think we care enough to take any of that, so we'll just hold up the push to take that out. Might want to hold the push for Lurrus, actually, but we'll see. and liked what they saw. Alright, they're just gonna run out the Lurrus. Play the bauble. Well, I mean, on the plus side, it's not that big of a deal. You know, we're in a time where more and more stuff is going digital, so I'm sure it'll work out well. I think we have to take that. I don't know, so we wanted to get rid of the ooze, because otherwise it's going to take out all of our stuff for the Lurrus, and we didn't want to leave them with Kolaghan's command, because then they could just buy back Lurrus to start everything, or, yeah, they can buy back their, Lurrus and then start everything up again, so that seemed bad. And we're just drawing lands. Might just be dead here. Because the opponent's just going to be beating in for 6, then 7. We've got a solid land in our hand. But yeah, I mean, honestly, there's so much that's just going to be going online now that it's pretty reasonable to just have an entire Magic career online. Okay. Well. We have to trade here, and I'm pretty sure no matter what, we're in a pretty bad spot. Yeah, we're just gonna wrap this one up. I believe the old mentality still holds true here, so we're gonna cut that. I think I want to bring in the spell bomb and the EE. Not even opposed to these pillages here, just because the mana base for Jun's usually pretty greedy anyhow. And then I guess I'll take the brutalities because they can take out a threat, so we can bring in like one of them. Do something like that. Yeah, we'll try it out. Alright, this seems sweet. I think I just want to go out Ravine so I can go have access to all my mana colors. I'm expecting a dead Bob. We have a live Bob. Nice. Okay. So we've got Artifact and Land in the graveyard, so if we go for the Bolt on this, it'll become a 3/4, and that won't work out to our preference. So let's decay it. And beat. Next turn, unless our opponent does anything crazy, we're probably just dropping both these Goyfs and just going to town. Okay. That's fine. I'm still pretty good with just running out the Goyfs. We want them to pop that Spell Bomb to make the Goyf smaller, possibly hit their own graveyard or something before we run out this Kroxa. And if they run up their Goyf, they're in a situation where Seal of Fire will be useful. We terminate it. Is this too greedy? Because we could, like, terminate swing. I think we're just better off swinging, though. See what they do. We seal them. Force them to bop the Spell Bomb. No, I guess we're good with this. So we can go Kroxa. See if they take the damage. Because if they do, we can just bolt them and finish them. Nope, they had their own Kroxa. Seal of Fire their Goyf. Yeah. If they take their whole turn to Kroxa and pass, I think we just ditch the Bolt, hold the Terminate, and terminate their board. I mean, terminate their Kroxa, and then go for the lethal swing, depending on what they exile. I think the other factor is Paper Magic's just probably not being played for a while either. Like, we're probably a good few months before it gets played. Our Goyfs are only 1/2s. I think we still want to pitch the Bolt. Because then unless they have the removal, they should be dead. Pitch that. And then we'll plan on terminating it and then go from there. That's pretty good. Oh. Let's just pass. That was a bit sloppy. We could have tapped better and then we could run out Lurrus. The Veils are pretty sweet. Yeah, cards hasn't been too popular, I don't feel like. Hey, Steak Jones. Not bad. We lost game 1, we're in game 2. We're in a little bit of an awkward spot. We're going to see if we can recover here. We have our opponent at 5, but they've got a much better board presence than we do, and they've also got 4 cards in hand with a looping Mishra's Bauble now. Crack. If we crack, yeah, I think we're fine to crack here, because even if we gotta push, we would want to just push the other guy anyhow. Activate and swing. Croxa blocks this, we block that. Doesn't seem great. Opponent's definitely gonna outdraw us here soon. Can we afford another turn? Because I feel like that's what we have to do. Then we would have a 1/3/4. Yeah, it just seems too much to give up all of that. Yeah, we should have tapped better, because then we would have had Lurrus in play and we'd be swinging for lethal. So, mistake on my end there. What up, Big Monkey? Thank you so much. Yeah, I am finally done with everything now, honestly. Between all the stuff that I had going on, between school, finished my master's, work slowed down after the whole COVID stuff. Haven't been traveling for Magic because not really possible right now. So yeah, everything's finally slowed down enough. I feel like when we've been working on a lot of different stuff with the team. We've got our Discord. We're launching our Patreon. We've got our website up and running. It's back down because we are doing some updates. So We've got someone working on that. Our teammate Danny is doing an overhaul on our website after the initial launch and some feedback, which is really cool. We're working on our YouTube page, our Twitch channel, so a lot of great stuff coming out. I'm pretty excited about it. Do you have any recommendations that beat Bant Snowblade, Burn, and Urian Shift in Modern? Honestly, right now, that's what we're kind of figuring out. We're playing some different Modern decks and getting back into it, to seeing what's going to feel best for us. Because I've been kind of taking I haven't been playing a ton of Modern. We played the Yorion Soul Sisters deck with our teammate and actually did quite well with it. We played a couple different variants of it, and then we played a Soul Herder pile with it, and it was quite resilient. Trying to think of how we get out of this loop. That our opponent's just outdrawing us, and eventually they're just gonna have a much bigger board. You could pillage their artifact, force them to pop it, and get a 6/7. I don't think that's... Not sure if that's good enough. Because if you target like the Spell Bomb, they'll just like target ours in response, our pile of cards, and then our Glyph Strings again, and then they just draw a card anyhow. So I think we just have to pass. Because we could activate the Ravine and swing. I think they just they just block and block. They would lose their Lurrus. If we lose our Glyph or our Ravine, I think we just pass here. We're in an awkward spot. Myself, I am a fan of those Bant Yorion snow piles. I think they're really strong, very resilient, from what I have played of Modern right now. We're actually pretty happy they popped both Spell Bomb and Bauble there. That means we're going to have Glyph just be a little bit bigger because one of those artifacts are going to have to stick around. I feel like we're asking to get blown out if we block. They have 6 cards going to 7 cards in hand here. I'm pretty sure unless we draw something amazing, we can just scoop it up. I am, yeah. I've been making food for the community. Every week I've been making about 40 to 80 meals, which has been a lot of fun. And we're good here. Yeah, so that's been really cool. I've been able to make food for people that are impacted by COVID-19, whether they are unable to get a job right now, got laid off, families that could just use some extra meals. Also able to make food for like frontline and essential workers. That's really cool. Let's take a look at this list. Yeah, you know I'm a sucker for Titan Chef. Depending on how tonight goes, maybe we can even get that slotted up for tonight, possibly next week, if not. Yeah, I've been actually pretty excited with how the food come out. It's been letting me play around with different stuff too, because I'm trying to be like really cost conscious about it. Everything that I make, I shoot for about that $2.50, $3 mark, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. But it's worked out really well, and the community has just been a blessing. Like everyone around me, I've seen donations from everywhere, so it's like really cool to just see people come together and help out everyone. I think we're good with this, and I think we're gonna ship this Colgan's command. We're playing against Eddie. I am ready to get crushed by them. Yeah, the format's actually shooken up quite a bit right now, and honestly, that's not even like in the last year and a half. That's just like in the last. It's just the set came out. We've seen a massive change. Well, I feel like it's going to be important for us to rip their hand apart. So let's grab ourselves Overgrown Tomb, Shock. I'd rather just take the shift. Well, I guess this isn't doing anything if they're not. I'm gonna go with the girl spile. Leave them with nothing, see how it plays out. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Modern come to Arena. I think it's gonna be a slow process though. Because they really have to go through quite a bit to get the format ready for it. Because I mean, they have to like you have to program all those cards, and there's so many awkward interactions that for Modern. So all right, they got Euro next. Good thing we've got an Ooze, but we'd like some lands. Yeah, I could see them, like, you know, making sure Pioneer's up and running well in Arena first, and then see how it goes from there. Sweet. Alright, so they got Euro on top. I think we just want to run out Ooze, and then that way we can eat the Euro. Yeah, it is the fake deck for sure, but it is pretty solid from my understanding, so we'll see how we do against it. Okay. So I expect them to play Euro just to ramp themselves. Yep. And then we'll be able to Thoughtseize that Scape Shift out of their hand. Okay, so shift. I have Grazer and Ice Fang. Drop a land. We bolt the Ice Fang. Oh wait, no, that was a mistake! That was a mistake! So bad! We're supposed to not do that. uh... I think we'll find out because I think we're playing it. In the next, I think the Dinosaurs deck we have next has it. Alright, so they're going to Euro here. They shouldn't be. We messed up a little bit. We'll be able to push it, but we gave them an extra card for no reason. That's my bad. Yeah, they'd have an Ice Fang, but they wouldn't have the extra card. Alright, well... what can you do? What are we doing this turn? We're gonna push, then drop Lurrus? No, we can't. I think we're just pushing. That means we're just gonna eat their stuff. They're gonna Ice Fang us if we swing. We can unearth. I think next turn we definitely want to go Lurrus. I think we just want to eat this and pass. Kind of want them to... Are they thinking about Yorianing there? Probably. Yorion, draw 2 cards. How's it been looking? Yeah, it's not bad. It felt pretty good, but it's, I mean, in this situation, we haven't drawn it in this game, but in the last game, I mean, it was a mirror match, but it felt okay. I'm used to being on the other side. I've been casting a lot of Euro in my games. Alrighty. As much as I... Do we care about them having the Yorion, or do we want to get out our Lurrus and start drawing cards? I feel like we want to just draw cards. Opponent's getting a lot of cards. I feel like it's getting closer and closer to our deaths the more cards they draw. Opponent's just going for the beats. What are you gonna do? Oh, we're just dead. We're just dead. Alright, so I want to rip their hands apart a bit. I want to pillage them. for sure. Don't feel like these bolts are doing much against our opponent. Yeah, I think it's always a love-hate relationship when you're going against decks. I feel like I want to bring in these boils, too. That might be greedy, but they're going to have, like... They play a lot of islands. Okay. So... Do we want the stuff like pushes? Or are we just going for ripping their hand apart? I mean, we gotta take care of the Earls at some point. But we've got other things to deal with it, I guess. Maybe the boils are a little too greedy. Because if we didn't have the boils, I mean, we would be looking at something like that. The brutalities and the pillages. I guess I'm not opposed to cutting Spellbomb. They do run Euro, but it's, I feel like that's fine. Maybe cut one Abrupt as well for another boil. And then a Colligan's Command for a boil. Alright, I really want to see if boil works, okay? I'm just saying, I want to know if we can beat Eddie with boil. Like, he's gonna just shift and we're like, boil! We gave our opponent too much value there. Messed that up. Gotta get better. Gotta get back into the groove of things. Alright. Not mad about this hand. See what we're drawing. We'll drop a threat. Pillage them a bit. And then we can do some Lurrus loops. Suspending Search. What do we got on top? Got another bauble on top. Do we want another bauble? I don't think so. One should be enough. We want to make sure we have the black sources, but I want to also maximize our greens. We can just Thoughtseize them, see what they're working with. Oh, one lander? Oh, two lander with Search? We're gonna pillage them as well? Alright, we're just gonna take their extra draw. I'm just gonna see if we can pillage them into death. Alright, we still want to have the triple black. I mean the double black here. Alright, and Veil only gives a Hexproof from blue or black spells. Village. We're monsters. It's a good one, right? I feel like you want to be pretty fast in this meta, right? Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, I'd have to play it to see what would make more sense, just to get a better feel for it. Ooh. So we can pillage their snow-covered island. Then they won't have green, and then we can inquisition them. Totally reasonable plays. Woot. It whiffed. Somebody gonna get her. Oh, I got Euro. So good. Alright, if we don't need to boil this game, I'm not going to. Oh. Feel like we might have to, but I'm gonna feel good about it. We don't really need to run out of threat. kill our... Because we still have lethal. Sure. Sure. Okay. Opponent's gonna remand us. And I think now it's just gonna be when we boil, because it's free. Cool, cool, cool. That Terminate didn't feel that great, but I think we still want to keep it. Maybe we want to bring in the spell bombs still. Like, are we okay with the spell bombs because then they can't cryptic loop us and it takes off Euro? Let's try that. Let's see what feels better. Yeah, Yuri on value decks are just so good right now. Like that's, like I said, that's definitely where I would be if I were just to like pick up a deck. As much as I want this hand to be good, because we've got double pillages, I just don't know if it's going to be good enough. I guess we get to bobble for an extra draw, and then we can filter it a little bit. It's so risky. I want to keep it. We seem to draw 2 lands. It's fine. It's totally reasonable. We draw a land, we get to cycle this Unearth. We'll figure it out. Yeah, see, we're professionals. We are professionals. Nothing to worry about. 1 land down, 1 more to go. It's easy. Easy peasy. Overgrown tomb. We are happy with that. Yeah. See, I don't even know why you guys are worried. It's fine. We had it in the bag from the get-go. We're already at 17, so our life doesn't even really matter anymore. I'm kidding. We have ooze. We can gain a little bit, but... You know, doubt is just going to lead to worry. And what we're going to do is just not worry about problems. Alright, we've got all the mana, I feel like. But we might as well shore it up now, I guess. Remand. Oh, good spell. Okay. They got a veil for us? That'd be some hotness. That's a veil for sure. For sure. Ugh. So good. We're in danger. Alright, so if we go for the pillage play, there's just a lot of upside for them. If we go for the ooze, so we can eat the euro, we might just be dead. But if we go for the pillage play, we're not in that much better of a spot, are we? Because they can still cast euro. They can't kill us, though. Can we fade a turn? 3 cards in hand. They'd have to have a land and the shift. I think we go for the ooze. Remand's pretty good. I think that's a euro, so that's feels much better than just dying. We can go Goyf and Overgrown Tomb. I mean, Goyf and Ooze. It's probably where we want to be. Cryptic. Oof. Feels bad. Well, if we had one more mana, we could go for the cooler play, but we can't. Whatever we're bringing back, I feel like we're just chumping. So the unearthing of a Goyf is probably where we want to be at. Digging real hard over there, Eddie. Am I dead? You can like Yorion and draw like 3 cards. Oh, he is cryptic. And then we're dead. Yeah, I could have. Yeah. That was not the way we wanted that to go. He did say that it was a pretty bad matchup, but that's fine. This deck is pretty sweet though. The extra engine that it gets from like giving up like Bloodbraid off doesn't seem that bad. You do lose Liliana the Veil, but I don't think that even really matters right now in this meta. We did get to boil him for a victory, and that makes my day. I think we might have wanted to cut the Unearths against him. I'm not sure. This hand's just a really fair hand. Let's see what our opponent's rocking. K command, push, and Kolaghan's command. So if we take the Bloodbraid off, they're just going to K command it back, plus make us discard a card. I guess. It's like new versus old right now. It's kind of dope. Alright, I'm expecting to get smashed by a Bloodbraid Elf. Bolt is pretty good. Goodbye, Ooze. Alright, they've got push and unknown in hand. Okay, command is pretty sweet. They'll discard and we'll shoot that. Alright, they discarded the push. I really want to save this Unearth for the Lurrus so we can keep gaining value on them. So we're just going to pass, and then we'll just plan on going Lurrus next turn. If we can get a land, that'd be sweet. Because then we can go like Lurrus Ooze. Got another Bloodbraid Elf? What a monster! And into Ooze. Okay. That makes our plans significantly more awkward. Yep. Still kind of just want to hit a land. I think having 2 spells this turn would be great. Confidant. We can pulse the ooze and pass, or we can go Goyf Confidant pass. I like Goyf Confidant pass. Feels like it puts them in a position where they have to deal with both of those threats because they can't swing profitably anymore. And there's nothing else for them to... There's one more thing for them to eat. Alright, so they can make this a 4/4 and shrinking our guy to a 3/4, so we have to take the hit. We have to discard this unearth, so then that way we can pulse. Push, sweet. Push that. Should save the pulse. That means we don't want to run out the Goyf. Otherwise we'll lose it to the Croxa if they draw land. So I think we just want to run out the Lurrus. And smash. I'm expecting them to Croxa us. We'll discard the Goyf. And then we can pulse on our turn. Crack back. Let's see where that lands us. I really did wish to get the full cycle of Titans. Having only 2 is kind of a bummer. Are we okay trading off our Confidant? I think we are. We're pretty low anyway, and we're taking off one of their threats. And then this way, if they do play Croxa, we can just swing freely and won't lose our Lurrus. Okay, they're just gonna pulse. It's fine. Alright, we'll just pass. Don't want to play the Blooming Marsh. We want to discard that for the Croxa. Liliana, okay. Can't pulse. I have to hold back. If we swing at them, swing at them. We're gonna swing at them, and then play a land pass, and then if they uptick, we'll discard the other land, hold up the pulse, and they should be only able to deal us 6 at most. No, we want to hold both. Yeah, we want to hold both lands because they'll uptick and Croxa. Another Bloodbraid Elf. Our opponent's so good at this game. Our opponent must really value whatever they have in hand. They didn't uptick. And we're drawing lands like a professional. I think we're just... Are we dead? Yep. Too many Bloodbraids. Could not keep up. Let's try doing it this way this time. Only bringing in one brutality. Not even sure if I like brutality. But it is removal. I know, this list was running 3 boy. I was excited. I guess this hand's fine. We're not doing much, but we're gonna rip our opponent's hand. Anything they play is gonna get killed. EE. Do we want EE? Don't think so. I think we just want threats. Cool, cool. I didn't want anything anyway. It's a cool deck. How rude. Do we just run out Lurrus now, force him to pop the bauble for no value? And then we can buy it back? I think I'm okay with that. Because then they still have to kill the Lurrus. Okay. If we let them untap, they'll have a chance to do more stuff. So I think I'd rather just... I think the list is good. I think I'm trash. Do we just go Goyf Confidant, push their Goyf? Pretty good with that. That way if they kill anything, we can still Lurrus bring it back. And we're definitely okay with that. Yeah. Free draws. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, they can only shrink Goyf by 1 at most and make theirs a 3-3. If they do that, they can't do the other thing, so we're good with that. I just want to run out Lurrus and just have critical massive threats. I think so. I think we just pass. How rude. It's pretty good. We wouldn't have been able to replay it, right? Like, if we go for the bobble, they could just eat it. So we know they have Trophy on top of their deck. Curious. We could cast this with Lurrus, make them discard their other card. And then if it's a... they have to block? It's kind of risky, but I'm going to try this. It's a Liliana. Okay. We're okay with trading here because we've got a lot. We got the Crocs in the graveyard. If they want to go that route. Yeah. Figured they wouldn't block. So if they trophy our Lurrus... good. Yeah, the Crocs line might have been really aggressive, but it would have allowed us, if they had a non-land card in hand, it would have shot them for 3. We would have been able to do some pretty good value there, because we would have been able to just force them to block, and then they have a trophy, and then we have a Croxa. Just looking for a removal spell. I got Bloodbraid on top. That's good. We will be able to eat there. Do we just cycle the Unearth right now? Pulse. Cool. Well, not cool, because we lose ours as well, but... I think that's fine. Force them to crack, lose the Bloodbraid Elf. Nope, they're not doing that. And we'll pass. Cool, so they lose the Bloodbraid. Yeah, I'm cool to jam whatever, honestly. I'm not stuck on the dinosaurs deck, but at the same time, I also only have so much time to. I did put a restriction on myself for about 9:30, 10 o'clock, so if we don't get to it tonight, we'll definitely be able to check it out another time. Yeah, I'm trying to be pretty moderate with most of what I'm doing nowadays. That way I don't overwhelm myself, but it's very reasonable. But I wanted to make sure I got the streaming back on the schedule so I can get a weekly stream going. Even if I can't do it for 6-8 hours at a time, if I can at least get a 3-4 hour stream going, I think I was going to be pretty happy with that, at least for the short term. If I can do, like when I'm like doing events, I want to be able to stream the entire event. I think that'll be pretty sweet. So like next week, there's the Cash Arena event. I'm going to try to stream that. And then there might be an event this Saturday, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm going to be able to stream that as well. It's the same thing like when I can start doing paper magic again and traveling. You know, I told myself a restriction is that I'll only let myself travel 2 big events a month at most. And if not, just 1 big event and then 1 or 2 smaller events. That way I can still, you know, it was last year when I was traveling like pretty much every single weekend. It wears on you a ton because you're always never getting great sleep on the weekends when you're traveling a ton like that. Ooh, Renin 6. Black Cleave, we are not interested in. Yeah, I'm pretty confident I'm going to be able to do like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night stream regularly. Just trying to work out the details for that to see which night I would be able to dedicate to, but I know that I'm going to at least do one a week. Is real estate still ticking? A ticking time bomb? A little bit. The economy is a little weird right now. As far as my industry, I'm in the apartment industry. It's doing really well. People still need a place to live. If you're not in the... we don't really deal too much with luxury apartments. Man. Yeah, we don't deal too much with luxury apartments. We deal with more like working class apartments in moderate price. They get classified as like C plus, B minus, B class properties, and the industry is doing well in that aspect because people still need a place to live. It is going to be interesting what happens if we enter like a recession, which we're like kind of pretty much forecasted to happen right now. Like majority of Americans, not majority, overwhelming amount of Americans are out of work and on unemployment, and it's going to cause like what is it? They said like 1/3 of the businesses in restaurants are going to go out of business, and then you're going to have one out of 7 small businesses are going to go out of business right now because of everything that's happening. That's just like the current forecast. It could get worse. Yeah, and for anyone that's been laid off due to the crisis, like for me, I wasn't laid off because my company was still, all everything was firing for them. Yeah, the national debt is definitely gonna impact us. Yeah, it's going on around Midland, right? I was gonna reach out to the people we know in Midland to make sure they were okay. But from my understanding, it's just kind of like a warning. I thought, or was it actually like massive flooding happening now? Ooh, I'll have to make sure to reach out to them after this then. Yeah, the national debt is something that's a real interesting topic because it's like whether or not you should have a large debt. Because um, if there's one area that should have a debt, it's the government. Like the government's okay with having a debt, but letting it just keep on developing, grow larger and larger and larger, and never really do anything about it, that's not good, right? Like, but the problem with our government is that we are in a bipartisanship. I mean, not a bipartisanship, a two-party system, and our two-party system is so detrimental to the long, sustained growth of everything. Because everybody just becomes like, oh, we want to fight this for us. They don't really care about the other side. Well, this Ren and 6 is making our pillage look silly. Hey, Commander. Well, I am happy that you're okay if you're on here chatting with us, so glad to hear that. And I'm glad the city of Midland's okay. Hopefully nothing too crazy is happening. Yeah, I mean, you pay back debt and the unemployment that we're paying out um, in the long run, right? Like so, like I believe what's happening in certain countries in Europe is that they've kind of taken the unemployment that we utilize, and we actually originally pulled our philosophy of where unemployment comes from. We got that from. We got that from the European nations. They had a concept of paying into this unemployment insurance, and then when you're out of work, you are able to you're able to still get funds because the idea is that you always want to have people able to pay for their livelihood, right? They should be able to pay for their housing and their food and everything. because that keeps the workforce going. If you don't have those insurances, people have a harder time working. That's what you ended up having with the Great Depression, right? Like everybody started getting laid off, and you ended up just not having any kind of like assurances that you were going to have a job. And so in certain countries in Europe right now, what they did was the government's just paying for everything. So they were paying to keep the businesses in business by paying their rent and paying their bills, and then also paying them to pay their employees too. So even though they have to lay off all these people because of COVID-19, you have a situation where you are basically putting the economy in a frozen state, and the government's picking up the tab of that. And of course, that's bad because eventually the government has to work on that too. But on the flip side of that is that they put the government in a state. I mean, they put the economy in a state where it's frozen. And then with the economy frozen, when things come back, you're able to have, instead of having a third of our restaurants, 1/7 of our small businesses go out of businesses, you have all these massive companies that are, all these massive companies that are now having to like lay off everybody and then file for bankruptcy. You don't have that. You have people that actually come back to work with a good reason, and so then they're kind of okay. We have just been drawing lands. Hey, Eli. Um, yeah, having a plan's solid, but the problem with the two-party system is that both sides now have gotten so polarized that either side is just looking out for their side, right? And I think that has us at 1. Well, like, yes and no. Like, we've always been the country that's kind of like inserts ourselves in a lot of different situations. And I think the biggest thing that they've always talked about, and no one ever really wants to admit it, is that a lot of the world economy functions as a result of the US. We are not doing solid. Why don't we see we'll see if we can finish this league and then jump in another one. We'll have time. Like our Navy and our Air Force pretty much controls the entire waters, which allows for the ability for a lot of like water trade to exist. Like without the U.S. supplying that, like basically trade on the waters would be really, really hard because we patrol so much of it and we take care of so much of it. So yeah, we should be focused on a lot of our stuff, and I wish we did spend more time protecting our people, and not that we're not protecting our people, but focusing more on our people and our economy. We do end up policing a lot of other things. Yeah, they totally crush your dream of being a pirate. Like, if this was like the 15th or 16th century, you could go out and just pirate it up, man. Go be Luffy up in this. Yeah, it's pretty funny because like in the U.S., like if you're our middle of the like our fairly middle ground political people are like they're like would be like considered right leaning in other countries. Like our far left is just left for some countries. I'm gonna try this. Our opponent's on Lurrus. We can rip their hand apart and then play Lurrus and get some value going too. So I think we're gonna just grab a swamp. I don't think we have to shock ourselves because we've got 2 dual lands. Woot woot. Thanks for the follow, man. I think I just want to take the abrupt because we can. Oop. I fast through our turn instead of throwing out that bauble. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm like you know, I lean slightly left, but I have a lot of like, my industry is very much so a right focused industry. And I appreciate both sides quite a bit. And I see the value of everything that both sides are trying to push. Certain topics I lean one way, other topics I lean another way. So it's always interesting to see how things play out. I don't think we want to correct here. I think we're going to wait. Just in case they run like an ooze or anything. I don't want to get caught for no reason. Good. Smuggler's Copter on top. We could Lurrus Bobble, force them to trophy our Lurrus. I don't think that seems worth it. I think I'd rather just thought seize them. Take their trophy, run out Blackcleave, and Bauble. Yeah, it's not, you know, once businesses get big enough, they do essentially become a powerhouse in the government anyway, so. Let's go back to being a pirate life. Our lobbying structure allows for any big businesses to basically have their say in any situation, so. Alright, they got Abrupt Decay on top. That Unearth is pretty sweet. So we're not Lurrus. Not yet. And I think I want to shock in the Seal of Fire. Yeah, there's a lot of ways where they can go about that. Hex Drinker and Spell Bomb. Run out our ooze. Present. Yeah, there has to be some middle ground, but between the two, obviously you can't let big corporations just take over and push out all the smaller, folks. That's the whole thing, right? Like, you can't have Walmart on every corner, Amazon on every corner, crushing up every bit of competition, and that's kind of what you're in the situation of. Alright, they discard the land, so they kept the Hex Drinker and the Spell Bomb. Alrighty. Let's eat their ooze. We will crack one Spell Bomb. Another Hex Drinker on top. We're fine with that. They are letting us cast the Bauble. I think we're just swinging because I want to cast Goyf and then have the ability to eat something still. Or use this Abrupt Decay. So I think our opponent's pretty good at being dead here. If they crew the Copter, we're just going to Abrupt Decay the Copter. And if they go for the Drinker, that's fine too. Protection from instants at level 3, okay. Okay. Like, we're just gonna Seal Fire this. Like, that's fine if they swing. I don't think we care. Because if they get a land, they can't play the Drinker, and if otherwise they just have the Drinker in hand. So it doesn't really matter. I think our opponent forgot about the land. Okay. So I still feel like this is like cute that I'm bringing these in. I really don't know if it's worth it anymore, but I'm doing it still. Because I want it more than the Thoughtseizes and the Inquisitions. Yeah, I don't really like overboarding, but I still don't like top decking. Like if you draw like a pillage or something, you can at least blow up a land or you know something. Like top decking the Thoughtseize just feels miserable. Lurrus, Jund, and their variants are pretty popular right now, aren't they? It's like all we're seeing. I think I'm good with just running out Crux. I don't watch much wrestling. My friend Chad watches it a ton. Do we just eat one? I used to watch it a ton. The Tiger King overlay for that? That is sweet. Alright, that's not bad. So we will... 2 modes, take that out, and look for a card in hand. Take the unearth. Yeah, I haven't watched wrestling since I was like WWF with like The Rock. That's pretty good timing. Yeah, I like a lot of the streaming services. I would find myself watching more streamers than I would watch like big TV. I was more interested in that. I mean, I don't even pay for cable anymore. I haven't paid for cable in ages. That's a pretty good emote. Oh, I think in general people just like the idea of actually being able to interact with the people that they are watching rather than having something like I can watch something in the background. I'll watch TV in the background, but I have a hard time just watching TV. That's his only email. That's pretty good. I don't know what our opponent's tanking on so hard. They didn't DC. So they're just kind of chilling. I think they finally decided. So if we Croxa, they discard the trophy. I mean, they use the trophy on the Croxa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we could shock in this, play Lurrus, and play Goyf. Or we can just go... Yeah, I feel like that's the line, right? No, because we can't play it. So we'd have to chump block. I need to rethink this. Where are we at with life? I got a Lurrus and Ooze. Not opposed to that. Go to 4, gain back up a little bit. Go to 5. So if they stacked removal on top, we're dead. But if they didn't, we get to trade with the tree top and then take 4, go to 1. I mean, go to 4. What up, Andrew? Thanks for joining. You like Lurrus into Goyf more than the Lurrus into Ooze? That's really unfortunate. We really needed them not to have that. Oh, it's interesting they gave us another turn. I guess it's not really another turn. Alright, they got a Goyf on top. We need to hit a removal spell. Hot dog. We didn't get anything. That's fair. Yeah, because I guess the 1 life didn't really matter there too much. feel like at this rate we might only be able to do one lead tonight. If that's the case, I'll see about coming back either tomorrow or Thursday. This isn't terrible. I don't know, I feel like they had to hit the ooze either way because they couldn't let it sit around the turn, but... we just pass. Could make them discard. I don't think that's worth it. I think we're just going to pulse that flare. Or push. Cool. Make this pulse real good. Oh, they still have a pulse in hand. Turn our Lurrus, shoot their Lurrus. And we want them to run out that other Hex Drinker, so we're just not going to run out the EE. They're just going for that, so that's fine. Alright, they got one Hex Drinker in hand and 2 unknowns, 3 unknowns now. This is pretty good. Terminate that for sure. Unfortunate. Ooze. Why does our opponent have to be so rude? Well, we needed a sorcery there. Alright. It's dead for us. Alright, I'm going to play the last league just to play it because I don't have enough time to run another one. But I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and then we'll wrap up. Alright, let's get smashed in this last one. See if we can make it over 5. uh, And as a wrap of this last league here, Team Swish, we've got our new Swish Gaming website. It's down right now because we are doing some updates to it, but we've got a lot of great articles on it already. We're going to be releasing 2 to 3 articles at the minimum a week is our plan, and then we've got like a variety of videos that we're recording and putting on there. My trash fire of a league here will end up going on there. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's receding fast on the other side of the state. Yeah, I feel like this 2020 has been like a really bad year. It seems like everything that's just been culminated, boiling and boiling and boiling, is just like, oh, it's happening now. Every month's getting worse and crazier every time. We got viruses taking people out. We got murder hornets. We got locusts attacking. Fires in Australia. I feel like I was expecting an alien attack this month or next. And I wouldn't have even been surprised. I'm like, well, it's happening. I imagine. I mean, the flood's impacting everything that's going on. Alright, let's see if we can squeeze a win out. I believe in us. In the draw? Yeah, we're on the draw. Okay. Let's see what they're working with. Whew. All the mirrors. We're now Goif. It's a 5/6. They can Lurrus and pass. Yeah. I think that sequencing was off. I was supposed to hit the Croxa, not the Ooze. They play the Ooze, then we just bolt it. It ends up being the same, but then... I guess it ends up being the same regardless. Definitely want to spell bomb them on our turn to remove the Croxa from being an option. So we can swing, hit their graveyard, lose both Goists, and they're down to just... I feel like I would be giving up a lot. I think I just spell bomb and pass. So if we do that line where we attack and then they bolt it if they block, they get to bolt ours as well. And then we have to crack the spell bomb against them, and get no draw out of it. So I didn't feel like that was worth it, right? Because then we have to give up our spell bomb, no draw, and then we both lose the goal. If we both lose a bolt, but then they have a Croxa, or we don't have a Croxa. But they are in the situation where they're up. We basically lost a card for that. Like here, if we block and they bolt it, we'll have the option to bolt it, and then they have to crack this. Do we just take it? No, we'll block. I think we're okay with this because we can still spellbomb them, draw a card, and then we still they still lose their Goif because it'll be 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, that's irrelevant. Alright, so we know they just have a forest in hand. Can we stop? Yeah, I guess we Lurrus. And then we cast the bauble. I mean, not the bauble, the spell bomb. And then we'll just pass to them. They kind of they have to crack that verdant. Alright, sweet. They have to crack the verdant if they want to cast the Lurrus, and when they do that, we'll crack the spell bomb against them. Do I want to run out Goyf? Or do I want to run out a spell bomb? I like the idea of just having the spell bomb for us to draw more, gain more. So we can unearth the Goyf, cast the spell bomb, and then swing. Oh, he shouldn't block. If he does block, we'll just value him. Yep. Sure. Sweet. So now we get to go 2 damage and return. So return this, shoot that, and that's game. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so every time now we've taken out the Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes, but maybe we really should be keeping some of them in. So, like, let's only trim in these and bring in the Brutalities, and then we'll trim the Thoughtseizes and, like, one Inquisition, leave 3 in. Because the Pillages, as much as I don't want to top deck an Inquisition, the others just didn't feel good either, so let's try that. Maybe that's been our flaw this whole time, because every time we've drawn Pillage, it hasn't felt great. Yeah, against that Red and 6, it felt real bad. Have we been 4 for 5 against Jund variants? And then 1 was against Eddie against the Yorion Titan Shift deck? Man. What a weird modern format right now, then. Let's see what they're working with. I swear if they veil us, I'm gonna cry. Just tears right now. If you guys can't tell, there's actual tears just coming down. Ooze, eat the Cruxa seems like the line we want to be on. We still have a Baron more in hand, so we only got 2 cards. One's a redraw. Probably gonna have to Abrupt Decay that Renin 6 on our turn. We might be able to swing at it and take it out, but... Ooh, they're shooting it. Nice. Guess we'll discard the EE. So we can bolt the Renin 6 now and hold up Abrupt. Curious why they didn't cycle the Baron more after over losing their land. They've got so many cards in hand. It's kind of our opponent to let us get a card. How rude. Opponent's got a full grip against us. But do they have a way to stop the raging ravine beats? I'll laugh if that's how we end up winning. Or one, sure. Alrighty, I guess we're just taking this out. Oh, that's really rude. That's what I'm thinking. They have like infinite removal. Good thing we've got another ravine. But it's gonna be real insignificant real fast here. So they're swinging, so they got another piece of removal for sure. Cool. Nobody gets anything. And they bring it back. Alrighty. We're done here. Somebody gonna get her. Need to draw a land to make this hand relevant. If not, then it's really not relevant. I have to ship it. Keep this. Bin that. Confidant, we will gladly take. Make them use their... Yeah, that works too. I think we discard the EE. Nice. How awkward. I thought we had another green source that we could fetch. We have to eat our own Croxa, and then this still dies. That's fine. Guess we'll discard the K command. Run out the Bob. If we didn't crack that, I don't think our opponent could have done that, which is unfortunate. I just thought we had another green source. Teach me for not knowing my lists. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's such a punt. Such a punt. If we Lurrus, Bauble, they'll seal it. And then we'll croc some next turn. Good thing we only have one green source. Now they have two. Man, that punt cost me the match. I'm pretty confident because what we were supposed to do is go Lurrus, Bauble, crack it, then push it, and then we would still have a Terminate in hand to take out this ooze. Kinda getting saved by the top of our deck, but still, man. Yeah, we should have had an extra card. And a Bolt or a Terminate in hand. Gotta get better. Gotta get back into the groove of it. Well, where are we at? Oh, that's it. Yeah, I made a lot of misplays today. But that's going to be it for tonight. Took 3 hours to run the league, so a little bit longer than I thought. I will see about coming back either tomorrow or Thursday for another league. So I will talk to you guys then, but if not, I will see you guys next week. I'll try to run every Tuesday or Wednesday. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. Look out for the Switch Gaming website. We have a lot of content that's going to be releasing. We post our deck lists. We're going to start doing that regularly for the events we're going to have coming up. So yeah, let us know what you guys want to see. We're more than happy to either have myself, Larry, Steven, we have Andrew. We're all going to be streaming. We've got a couple other guys that are getting their setups going for their ability to stream and record content too. So we've got a lot of different players, a lot of different skill sets. Some people are big in a standard, Pioneer, Commander, EDH, Vintage, Legacy, whatever the case would be. So just let us know, and we're more than happy to get things going for you. So have a great night, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for the return stream.